Hello everybody and welcome to the second video of Friday. I think this is going to be. Now, Nightmare Raids, rewards from it, and we're just going to react to a bit of that, also look at some stuff other people are saying, and also just the general experience. So here is what was my first pick that I got from my chest, which was one tier 6 class catalyst. At this moment in time, I'd be looking at this and going, this was not great, okay? What about the next one? Because at this moment in time, we are fighting our way. I think we've got 2-3 more days left to do the what is it called? Just Nightmare Raids. And if you're not getting back what you think you're going to get back from this event, you might be left ultimately disappointed. This is my second one, which I got tier 7 basic. I'm actually okay with the fact of getting tier 7 basic because it is current meta for the game, and of course shifts everything at the moment, because this is now how I would, without having to do stuff like, if I hadn't done Necropolis Arenas challenges, the Ordeal, and what's the other one? Epoch of Pain, then this would be my only opportunity to get tier 7 basic. Yeah, you could say like, oh, banquet event, but I'm not highly investing into that. It didn't tick my boxes. It ticked a lot of other people's boxes, but not mine. Anyway, that was what I got from the second crystal, or second chest. And then the final one, which I'll just load in right now. This is it here. This is where things change. And what was going to be kind of like not a bad set of raid chests was actually relatively okay. But it was relatively okay. 10,000 Titan Crystal Shards. It was okay because that means that I will form a Titan Crystal, which you can see there. So I formed. But if I didn't form, would this be seen as like disappointing, like endeavor into AQ raids? Yeah, there's some good stuff at the end of it, but we have to clear. If our alliance doesn't clear the boss, which we just started work on right now, we've got 3 days to do it, and also the revives have reset, then it might be seen as a bit of a, well, bit of an unfortunate and not particularly great, battle in that. And the fun and interactive is something that I think we're going to talk about over the weekend when it comes to everything MCOC and the game. So to go back onto the MCN topic today, but expanding on it, for other players, like seeing stuff like this isn't great, isn't like, because it's RNG. But if your RNG isn't like top notch, it can be seen as top disappointing. And yeah, come on, Kabam, we can easily get tier 4 alpha, tier 6 class catalyst shards from Battlegrounds store. As well as for so cheap, yeah, because the tier 4 alpha has been devalued massively. You can even you got it from side quest. Yes, 2k. Yeah, okay. Battleground store, glory store. Yeah, you can get a nice chunk for the amount that you invest glory wise. So it still isn't great with the situation with Kabam and kind of like how they're structuring things. There's also it's just fun fights, okay? Fighting fun fights is not great, and of course Kabam put in something that was too overtuned to begin with, and that's not fun, is it? And I think the more that you look at your team like setup, that's another kind of key point as well to this, to make it fun, because it becomes quite restrictive on options. I must admit, from facing off against, from a Vanguard perspective, it's great to use Silk, and I decided for the first time to go, do you know what, let's bring Silk into this. And it wasn't too bad. Let me just phrase what wasn't too bad about it. The Weapon X fight. That's it. That was it. Silk against Weapon X. That was it. Everything else, I was like, why are science-based champions kind of like added in for this? Number one. Number two, is it just like really restrictive? I've seen people do good stuff. Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, completely impossible or improbable. It's like, and Kabam will say, well, that's the point. We were meant to make something that's a bit more difficult with it. But then there's a fine line. There's a fine line that Kabam, I just don't think, get too much. Like, they just don't get it, like why players have the kind of feedback they have. And this is why I've said that if there's people that are just adamantly angry, just ask the question, why are people adamantly angry about stuff that Kabam have been doing recently? Even people that have been positive towards Kabam in whole, why are they changing Well, not changing, but why do they feel the way they feel? And I kind of look a bit deeper than going, oh, angry person's angry. Why are they angry? Like, what specifically is it? And yeah, it's just the problem, I guess, with having options, isn't it? What's your options? And will you have to look at the next rotation of Alliance raids and go, I'm going to have to rank up something specifically to make this work for me? Just quickly shifting some like thoughts, like I know Vega has now come to a point where he stopped spending. He reached the same point that I had, 4 years ago, where there's just a lot of stuff where you're just like, well, I'm not sure where the game's going. I'm not sure the direction. I don't know if I can back this. And asking questions of yourself, and of course questions on Kabam, and questions of the content, questions when it comes to just general kind of like enjoyment. There's a lot to it, his particular like video, but it's just assessing stuff like from an honest perspective of where are we currently up to at the moment, what is necessarily fun, what is very niche and specific, what is fun and interactive, what is Kabam going their own way and not listening to players. There's a lot to really kind of like deep dive into it, and it's not for people that might go like, oh, it might be, is it the game team? Maybe. Is it the community management team? No, because their job is to take what you say and take it to Kabam or the game team, and for them to action on stuff. But then there's people that sit above that maybe have different agendas and ideas. As much as like I've seen people say about there's everything improved when the former Netmarble CEO that now technically is working at Kabam, that's a new Kabam CEO, was appointed, and I've seen other people say different to that. So it's just there's a lot of moving pieces to this of what just happens with people's thoughts. I mean, you look at what's happening with Marvel Rivals at the moment and how they're kind of looking after their game and how they're able to pivot very quickly to what is player feedback, what is defiance from a developer. And I think that it's putting Kabam under a big magnifying glass, especially over the previous years of stuff that's kind of been added in. You know, even like Seaton's like noticing it. He came back to play a bit of Nightmare Raids and noticing stuff that just wasn't there, like greedy with 16 nodes. This is what I have a bit of a concern about with 9.3. Was it 9.2? 9.2, that the beta was. Like, one of my big things was, like, it's very nodey. And nowadays, it's like, I can't be bothered with all these kind of, like, nodes. I just want to play the game. Complexity on complexity on complexity, it's just not enjoyable, right? It's just not enjoyable. So having, like, an extensive amount of nodes for this stuff is just doesn't feel like it's it. Right? It just doesn't feel like it's it. Even more so if you kind of put into the mix these kind of, like, RNG rewards. It ain't nice. It isn't fun and isn't great, especially when people are investing their time and effort and ticket investment to get this. I think this was like something similar back in the day where you invested a lot of tickets and you weren't in something, but I can't remember what type of content was it. Like, was it just like AQ type tickets or something like that? It was like something, but that was a long time ago. Whatever it was, certainly wasn't bases. But yeah, like it's just not great. Like, it's just not great when Kabam kind of go like, we think we know what we're doing and we think we're doing right by the community, but we're actually not. But we don't realize that we're not. It's kind of like that. And yeah, shout out to The One Who Laughs. This is from their X post where it was like, I forgot to like say, this is the full chain of rewards that this player got. It was the tier 6 class catalyst. I don't think a lot of players, like Valiant players, would be complaining too much about tier 7 basics fragments to that volume, but they would be kind of go like, well, what's the point? Because I can get Kabam have reached this point where you can get a lot of the stuff that's in Alliance raids for free by Glory Store for those that are Valiant, Battlegrounds store for that, and of course on a weekly basis you can purchase via like Traders Outpost tier 7-star shards from it. You can also get it free from crystals. You can get it free from calendar, I think. There's also some other areas in game that you're picking up some of this stuff for free. So you kind of go like, well, what's setting it apart? What's the rarity? What's the exclusivity? The risk to reward that is coming with it. And that's I guess this Kabam kind of tipping it like, oh, this is the risk, that you're spending 180 tickets worth to get the reward, which is this. Like, I like Alliance Raids. I think that it's a great addition. It kind of goes on par with this, I think Battlegrounds is like the best things that they've put in. Oh, no, sorry. It goes Super Daily Event, then it'll probably go like Alliance Raids. But then, like, this is just not it. Like, it's just not it from an investment to what you get back point of view. And by the way, I'm not giving it props on design and implementation. I'm giving it props on Alliance Raids, being that it's a collaborative, cooperative type event, like a mode. As a mode, it's good. From a perspective of how it's rewarded, the fights specifically, the nodes attached to it, that's the problem. That's the sticking point. It's just going, great, there's a new mode. Yeah, you can collaborate with it and you do your own kind of like different thing. Okay, cool. Like, everything was okay until they put in Nightmare Raids, until they, like, you know, cocked it up essentially. And that's really it. That's what we're kind of like up to with that situation. Like, it's not great. And I don't know where Kabam go from this. It's all about earning trust. You got to earn trust, like, with the player base. And at the moment, a lot of people's trust is kind of in the ground, and things need to kind of like be elevated up and improved. And there's a lot of things Kabam have got on their plate this year to get right by the player base, and I just don't know when I can see it being done. Rewarding new, we said this before, improving rewards in different modes, making sure that the modes are up to scratch, battlegrounds, incursions, you know, everything needs to be under a magnifying glass in MCOC this year. AI, gameplay in general, quality of life improvements, making the game less grindier so people at least can go, I can do A, B, C, and D, bit of content without feeling that I have to invest more than 5 hours per day. And a bit more than that, because it's very grindy as a game. Anyway, what is everybody's thoughts currently at the moment? Interesting to see where Vega's up to with stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I've got some content I want to do that's kind of focused on guides and other stuff, but hopefully that I can get that done this weekend. Some tier listy type stuff. Yep. Anyway, thoughts, and I'll see you soon. Bye.